We know that humans love to flex, and we have done it through history. We have seen, pharaohs and even presidents and also politicians just display how they love to flex. And currently, we also still love to flex. We show it with brands, we show it with the things that we own, and on the internet, we're showing it with NFTs. We're showing CryptoPunks, we're showing apes, and other different type of NFTs that basically represent the communities that we're members of. So what are NFTs? NFTs are unique digital assets that live on chain, and a really good way to say it is from Jesse Walden, is that NFTs make it possible to own digital media assets in the same way that you can own a digital currency asset like Bitcoin. There are many different types of NFTs. There's visual art, there's performing art, there's audio, there's digital art, there's timeless moments, there's certificate of authenticity, there's also certificates of ownership. There's also NFTs for gaming, NFTs for even also like writings and stuff. And there's also these beautiful things that we call DAOs, which are super magic, I think. Some people call it magic internet organizations, and other people like Cooper calls it, DAO is a commitment to share value with a community. Other people you say, they are multi-sig, multi-sig, multi-sig. And personally, I think that DAO is just a way for communities to share value and to share any sort of capital. In our age, we only talk about financial capital, but I believe that DAOs and NFTs are unlocking more than that. There's other forms of capital, like social capital, community capital, even nature capitals, and NFTs are unlocking that, and DAOs are as well, and it's super, super cool to see that many people are trying to bring these new ideas to the crypto space. Kevin Owocki talks about how DAOs basically enable individuals and collectives to come together and basically share value between them. So individuals can do, let's say, whatever they want to contribute for the DAO, and at the end, it helps the whole collective. And the idea is that we can collectively generate value. And there's Cooper Torley who has basically identified like the different type of DAOs. There's like DAO operating systems, which are basically like a way for anyone to come up, and we come up with a DAO using any of these frameworks. Then there's investment DAOs, and those investment DAOs, they have like different ways to allocate capital, and different, let's say, voting mechanisms. And then we have the grants DAOs that are basically just distributing funds to different people that are building within those ecosystems. We have then collector DAOs, which are becoming super, super popular. And they're basically focusing on collecting NFTs and, yeah, essentially creating value collectively. Then there is protocol DAOs, which essentially they're like ways of having mechanisms that accumulate some sort of value and basically share with the different participants of the community. Then there is service DAOs, which are essentially just providing different services to other DAOs and even to other DeFi protocols or any other, let's say, crypto project in general. Then we're also seeing something that I believe is super interesting, which is the social DAOs. And social DAOs is just like a way for communities to share value between them and share social experiences, like, let's say, parties or events or any way that people can come together, which I find super interesting, and how they're coordinating. Then we have media DAOs, which are essentially providing media resources within the crypto space. Kevin Owocki talks about the modular DAO stack, which I find amazing. Why? Is because there are so many DAOs that are basically kind of like helping each other out, and they're building on top of each other. And one of the examples that I actually want to show you is that currently we have, on Doing Good, we're doing a solar punk exhibition for Gitcoin and the Shelling Point. And here creators are basically publishing solar punk art, and all of this money that is going to be collected with these NFTs is going to the matching pool from Gitcoin. Then, let me go back. Then we have also seen really, really cool stories, like the Assange DAO, which raised $53 million for buying one of the PAX NFTs. And it's crazy that actually it raised way more than the Constitution DAO. And the Constitution DAO, the idea was to buy actually one copy of the Constitution of the United States. And then we have Gitcoin, who has been funding over $50 million in open source projects. And also, they're standing also to support different causes. There's also like new possibilities for funding social causes, and many of them are using NFTs. So we have like the Moonshot bots from Gitcoin also, who raised over $3 million and went to the public goods funding. We have the Lobby Lobsters, who raised over $4 million, and it went to lobbying ideas and basically within the DeFi space. Then we have the Geometry Runners, who raised over $3.4 million. And then we saw what happened last week or 1 week and a half ago with PAC, who raised over 17,000 ETH for Julian Assange and also for other causes like freedom of press and so on. And yeah, this is just incredible. Then we have even politicians that are trying to use NFTs as a way to fund their campaigns. This politician raised over $500,000 just selling NFTs. Then we have the Carbon Drop. The Carbon Drop raised over $6.6 million for the Open Earth Foundation. Then the one from Snowden, over $5.5 million for the Freedom of the Press Foundation. And then also like this one from the creator of Rick and Morty that raised over $1 million to help Los Angeles homeless. And I just wanted to show you this. It's just because I find super interesting how we humans can coordinate and essentially support social causes and have, let's say, a way to show to everyone that I actually participated and I actually created some value for my community that I care about. So what is a public good? In economics, a public good refers to anything that is both non-excludable and non-rivalrous, which means that people can be bare access and one person use doesn't degrade another person's use. And we're seeing also like many DAOs are helping funding public goods. Like the Gitcoin DAO, as I said, that is funding public open source software. The Climate DAO, that is essentially using a fork to fund and basically take carbon offsets of the market. Then the Common Stack, which is creating like tools for communities to become, let's say, more sustainable and also share more value. Blizzard DAO, which is essentially collecting a lot of NFTs that have some sort of social impact. The Token Engineering Commons, also creating tools for communities. Vita DAO, that is essentially helping research of longevity, Nori, as well also removing carbon offsets. The Giving Block, like enabling people to give cryptocurrencies And then we have Are Trees, which enable people to basically farm, and the money that gets farmed is used for planting trees. Then we have Toucan, which is basically tokenized carbon credits. And then we have Giveth as well, that is enabling social causes to receive donations. Popcorn DAO, which is essentially a DeFi tool that supports social causes using DeFi. Diatom, which is also another fork, very similar to Klima, but instead of carbon offsets, what they're doing is actually tokenizing plastic removal credits for essentially cleaning the ocean. And then we have Broccoli, which is essentially a DEX, where 90% of the fees, instead of going directly to, let's say, the people that are providing liquidity and so on, are actually going to the people, are actually going to social causes. And then we have Cold DAO, which is essentially funding also public infrastructure that is helping, let's say, in a way, humanity. There are many different ways of doing public funding. These are some of the public funding tools that I gathered just by talking to people and learning more about what they're doing, like quadratic funding, conviction funding. This is very interesting, actually, conviction funding, because what it allows you is that, for example, if you believe a cause is doing something, you can delegate your tokens there, and then some money can be streamed to that cause. And if you stop believing in that cause, you can move your conviction to another cause, and then the streams goes to the different cause. This is really, really nice, I think. Then there's bonding curves, there's Harvard tax, there's retroactive funding. There's also airdrops that is being used for funding public goods. There's also civil-resistant mechanisms that are used in order to avoid people, let's say, trying to scam these public goods fundings. There's DAOs that are focusing on public funding, like the one from Assange DAO. There's funding rounds with leaderboards, which is kind of like bringing some game mechanics in order to incentivize more giving. Then we have some protocols that are launching, and when they're launching, they are already allocating a percentage to social causes. And also we have, you know, what I talked before, which is using NFTs for social signaling. And today I want to present you Doing Good, which is what we're currently working on. Oh, it doesn't sound. It seems like it doesn't sound.
Technology, community, finance, and social consciousness. Blockchain technology has paved the way for NFTs, which have ignited the democratization of the creative space. This new era in the digital world is now open, transparent, and unstoppable. Global creators, curators, and collectors can meet on their own terms together with their communities. Introducing Doing Good, an ecosystem aiming to become a public good that prioritizes humanity, social impact, and creativity. At Doing Good, a wide range of NFTs can be hosted by a diverse community, from music to videos, to photography, to fine arts, and even generative art. Doing Good is open to everyone. Anyone may list their own NFT release, and can choose to list independently, or can partner with galleries that feature curated collections. With each and every NFT sale, creators can stream money to social causes in a fully transparent manner. That means that each transaction on Doing Good connects creators, collectors, curators, and social causes to make the world a better place. Are you ready to make a difference and do good? Then join us and let's start doing good together.
So as we know, our society is becoming more and more transparent. And you know, everything that we're doing online, essentially we can see it. So what we think is that with doing good, it's a way for creators to come, tokenize their assets, tokenize any type of content, whether it's video, whether it's music, whether it's any text or any type of, let's say, digital content. And by doing that, also stream a percentage of money to social causes with every sale. And they can decide what percentage they give. Within the protocol, a minimum of 5% in the primary market and a minimum of 2.5% in the secondary market. And what's happening is that essentially we're starting to work with different communities that want to help the world make a better place. For example, if Denver is hosting an NFT gallery and they're using Doing Good in order to support different social causes. Doing Good doesn't charge anything to creators, 0%. And currently also we are not charging anything to collectors. In the future, the DAO might decide how much money we want to charge collectors, but not creators. We don't want to charge any money to creators because they're doing good and they're supporting social causes. And the idea is that, you know, we're starting as an NFT platform, it seems like a, let's say, like a marketplace and social media platform. But in reality, what we want to do is a protocol for social good. So what does that mean? So imagine that every time that you donate, or every time, let's say, a creator gives some funds for social causes, they will receive, let's say, some sort of reward token. That reward token could enable different creators and different participants in our ecosystem to essentially decide what are the different social causes that should be listed within the protocol. So like that, all the creators that are participating in this ecosystem can have a voice and can decide what is actually the protocols or, let's say, the causes that are doing good for humanity. So like that is a way for us humans to come together and coordinate what is good for humanity. And yeah, I want to thank everyone for being here today. And if you like that idea and what we're working on, I want to invite you to be part of this. Yeah, just send me, one second, I'm trying to get here. Send me a DM or a message. Here you can find all my information. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, for being here.
Thank you so much, Manu. Do we have any questions from the audience?
Any questions?
I have to stand up or here. So you mentioned that there's different causes that we can found in Doing Good, but what kind of causes, like if I believe in gender equality or if I believe in maybe something more related to take care of their resources, like how do I know that I will find someone that's aligned with me as a creator?
That's a really good question. Thank you so much. So currently, the way that we're doing it is that we're categorizing all the different social causes within the 17 Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations. So you can be supporting whether it's climate change or, as you said, gender inequality. And essentially, like that, we can, let's say, have like a framework for categorizing all of these different causes. And we're starting with causes in the United States, which are 501c3, but also in different parts of the world, like where each country has their own way of identifying how a social cause is. And that's where the complex part is. And that's where we need to come together, humanity as humanity, and basically start aligning ourselves and bringing all of these causes to the platform so like that they can be, let's say, recipients of donations. But as I said before, that the idea is to actually curate those social causes. So if a social cause is not doing what they say that they're supposed to be doing, we can kick them out from the protocol, and they can stop, for example, receiving funds. I hope that answers your question. No problem. Okay.
G'day, man. Love what you're doing. I think it's a really interesting thing. We're actually working on but a similar idea space over here ourselves. I understand you guys are on Polygon at the moment, is that right?
Currently, we're on Polygon,
Right.
but we're planning to become, let's say, an agnostic platform where
Sure.
essentially creators, they come, they publish, they don't need to mint, they don't need to pay for anything, they don't need to have even crypto in their wallets. They just mint, and then what we do is that we pre-mint in multiple chains. And essentially, the collector comes in and decide on which chain they want to have their NFT. So like that, we can find Patreons in Ethereum, in Polygon, in Harmony, in any of these communities, because that's what we want to do, to find the new Medicis of the world, the ones that actually want to, bring art. And yeah, essentially the way that we want to do it is going to all these different protocols.
Interesting, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Manu. We are here for a sustainable multi-chain future.
Thank you.